Right now I'm using this jack stand, but if you take a closer look at it, you can't fine tune that. So if you want to make some micro adjustments to help level out the camper, you're not going to do it with those. And really, you don't want to be putting all your weight onto, the tongue jack. So I picked up a couple of scissor jacks and a couple of stabilizer jacks that I'm going to want to install. So I've got this scissor jack here. It's rated for 5,000 pounds each. So that ought to be a good solution for the front of the camper. And then I've got these stabilizer jacks, which I'm going to install in the back. I would have liked to have installed the scissor jacks all the way around, but I don't really have room to install these on the back, but I do have room for the stabilizer jacks. It's almost a perfect fit. So I'm going to go with the stabilizer in the rear and the scissor jacks in the front. And these scissor jacks can actually be fine-tuned. They come with this adjustment bar, and you just simply place it in here, and then you just pull it down. Can't do this with one hand, but you just pull it down and you can make some micro adjustments. So I can do micro adjustments on the scissor jack and on the stabilizer jack. And you can see that this takes just a standard 3/4 inch, and in order to raise and lower. So that's pretty nice. That's my project for this week, so let's get to it. Alright, the first problem I ran into with these rear stabilizer jacks is that I can't do a bolt through solution to attach these to the frame. Once I get through the angle iron, I actually just go into the 2x6 deck, and then right above that is the wall of the camper, so there's really no way for me to bolt through. So what I ended up doing was using lag bolts. When I did that, I made sure that my drill bit was just larger than the shaft of the lag bolt, but not as wide as the teeth of the lag bolt. That way it would both grab the deck and the angle iron, and I really had to crank down on those lag bolts to get them up snug and tight, and that thing is solid as a rock. I feel confident that that's a good permanent solution, but I actually offset it from the end about 3/4 of an inch because I plan on welding these on as a permanent solution down the road. I'll either pick up a welder myself or have a friend weld these on. But that's what I ended up doing. I did this on both sides. So after attaching the rear stabilizer, I went to swing it up to see how that was going to work. And of course, I couldn't lock it in place because the footplate was wider than the angle iron allowed. So it was hitting the angle iron. So I figured I'm going to have to get my grinder out and grind off about 1/2 inch off of the footplate. So I marked off the footplate of the stabilizer jack and started to cut it off with my grinding wheel. And this next short little segment is dedicated to Julie Robinson. So I got that edge cut off, and I haven't done it yet, but I'll soften these edges and the corners and throw a couple of coats of rust inhibiting paint on there and before I attach it to the trailer. Okay, here it is with the the foot plate trimmed and installed, and there's still plenty of plate left to make contact with the ground. And if it's a situation where the ground's too soft, I'll probably put a jack plate underneath it anyway. So I think this will be good. Here's the same jack from the other side. I did the same thing to the other jack, and here it is installed and swung up, so you can see that it clears the angle iron just fine now. Both rear stabilizer jacks installed and extended, so it's time to move to the front and start working on those scissor jacks. So you can see here with this C-channel frame design that it's really easy to attach the scissor jacks, with a bolt through solution. So what I did was I held the scissor jack up to the frame, marked my first hole, and I positioned the jack so that when it's fully extended it points towards the outside corner of the frame. And drilled my hole, attached it with stainless steel nut, bolt, and washer, and the nut is a nylon nut, so it's going to be pretty secure on there. Then I was able to just use the scissor jack as a guide to drill my second hole, which put it in the perfect location. So the scissor jack's fully installed and it's fully raised, and you can see that it doesn't extend past the corner of the camper frame. So you're not going to have any surprise shin busting events happening. So I'm happy with this solution. And here's the jack fully extended, supporting that end of the camper. And again, you can see that it doesn't extend out past the corner of the frame. Alright guys, I got all four of the jacks installed, the two scissor jacks up front and the stabilizer jacks in the back. So this is going to be a lot nicer. I'll actually be able to level the camper with these scissor jacks, and even with the stabilizer jacks in the back, they do have a little bit of fine tuning with them, so I'll be able to do some minor adjustments there as well. So that'll help with leveling a little bit, not too much, but that's it. That's my project this week. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.